Every spring, millions of gardeners walk into their local garden center and spend $30, $40, sometimes even $60 on seed packets. And here's the thing nobody tells you: for at least 6 of the most popular vegetables you grow, you should never have to buy those seeds again. Not next year. Not the year after. Never. I'm going to show you exactly which 6 seeds you can harvest yourself at home, how to store them so they last for years, and why the seed industry would rather you didn't know any of this. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll walk out of that garden center with a lot more money still in your pocket. Number 1. And this might be the most valuable one on this list: tomatoes. The average packet of heirloom tomato seeds costs between $4 and $6, and inside that packet may be 25 seeds. That means you're paying up to 20 cents per seed for something your tomato plant will produce by the hundreds, completely for free. A single ripe tomato contains anywhere from 150 to 300 seeds. One tomato from one plant that you already grew. Here's what to do. Step 1. Choose your best tomato, the biggest, healthiest, best-tasting fruit from your strongest plant. This is how you improve your garden year after year. Step 2. Scoop out the seeds into a small glass or jar. Add a little water, just enough to cover them. Step 3, and this is the part most people skip. Let them ferment for 2 to 3 days at room temperature. You'll see a layer of mold form on top. Don't panic. That mold is actually breaking down the gel coating around each seed that would otherwise prevent germination. Step 4. After 2 to 3 days, add more water, stir, and the good seeds will sink to the bottom. Pour off the floating seeds in the mold. Those are duds anyway. Step 5. Rinse the remaining seeds through a fine strainer, spread them on a paper plate or coffee filter, and let them dry completely for about a week. Don't rush this part. Step 6. Store in a small paper envelope, label it with the variety and the year, and keep it somewhere cool, dark, and dry. A glass jar in the refrigerator works perfectly. Stored correctly, tomato seeds stay viable for 4 to 6 years. Number 2. Peppers. Bell peppers, hot peppers, sweet peppers, all of them. And honestly, out of everything on this list, peppers might be the single most underrated seed to save. Most people never even think about it. Here's why this matters. A good packet of sweet pepper seeds, something like a California Wonder or a Chocolate Bell, can cost anywhere from $5 to $8. And what do you get? Maybe 20 to 30 seeds. That's sometimes more than 25 cents per seed for a plant you're already growing in your garden. Now here's the thing about peppers. They are incredibly prolific seed producers. One single pepper fruit, fully ripened, contains anywhere from 50 to 200 seeds depending on the variety. You do the math. One fruit gives you enough seeds to fill your garden for years. And saving them couldn't be simpler. No fermentation needed like tomatoes. No special equipment. Here's all you do. Leave 1 or 2 peppers on the plant and let them go completely, fully ripe. And I want to be very clear about what fully ripe means, because this is where most people go wrong. For bell peppers, fully ripe means they have turned completely red, orange, or yellow. Not the green stage you see in the grocery store. Green bell peppers are actually just unripe peppers. You need to leave them on the plant until they hit their final color. For hot peppers like cayenne or jalapeno, wait until they turn deep red. Why does this matter so much? Because immature seeds won't germinate reliably. The seed needs to fully develop inside the fruit before you harvest it. If you save seeds from a green pepper, you'll get poor germination rates and wonder what went wrong. Once your pepper is fully ripe, cut it open, scrape the seeds out onto a paper towel, and spread them in a single layer. Let them air dry for 1 to 2 full weeks, not a few days, a full week, ideally 2. Pepper seeds hold moisture, and if you store them before they're completely dry, they'll mold in the envelope. After 2 weeks, give one seed a pinch between your fingers. It should feel completely hard and dry. If it bends slightly, give it another few days. Then into a paper envelope, label with the variety and the year, and store somewhere cool, dark, and dry. A glass jar in the refrigerator is ideal. One important tip: if you grow multiple varieties of pepper close together, they can cross-pollinate through bees. Sweet peppers and hot peppers can absolutely cross.
which means next year's seeds might produce something unexpected. For most home gardeners, a little crossing isn't a disaster, but if you're growing a variety you love and want to preserve it exactly, either grow only one type or space different varieties as far apart as possible. Pepper seeds stored properly last 2 to 4 years. In the refrigerator, some gardeners report keeping them viable for up to 5 years. The bottom line, one ripe pepper this summer. That's all it takes. You'll have more seeds than you could possibly plant.
Number 3, cucumbers. And this one comes with the longest shelf life on this entire list, up to 7 years. Save a batch this summer and you genuinely might not need to buy cucumber seeds again for the rest of this decade. But first, and I need you to pay close attention here, cucumbers are one of the most commonly sold as F1 hybrids at garden centers. I'd estimate that more than half the cucumber varieties you'll find at a typical garden center or big box store are hybrids, which means you absolutely must check your seed packet before saving anything. If your packet says F1, move on. Look for the words open-pollinated, heirloom, or OP. Some excellent open-pollinated varieties to look for include Marketmore 76, Straight 8, Lemon Cucumber, and the old-fashioned National Pickling Cucumber. These are varieties that have been grown and saved for generations. Reliable, flavorful, and absolutely worth preserving. Now here's the part that surprises most people about saving cucumber seeds. You need to let the fruit go way past the stage you'd normally eat it. I mean, really leave it alone on the vine. When you'd normally harvest a cucumber, young, tender, bright green, maybe 6 to 8 inches long, the seeds inside are still immature. They won't save properly. Instead, designate 1 or 2 fruits specifically for seed saving at the start of the season. Mark them with a small piece of ribbon or tape so you remember not to harvest them, then leave them completely alone. Over the next several weeks, that cucumber will go through a remarkable transformation. It'll grow larger than you'd normally let it. The skin will start turning yellow, then orange, then start to feel slightly soft when you press it. At this point, and only at this point, the seeds inside are fully mature and ready to save. Cut the cucumber open lengthwise. You'll see the seeds sitting in a gel-like substance inside the seed cavity, similar to tomatoes. Scoop everything out into a jar and add some water. From here, the process is identical to tomatoes. Ferment for 2 to 3 days at room temperature. The good seeds will sink, the bad ones and the gel will float. Pour off the top layer, rinse the remaining seeds through a fine strainer, and spread them to dry on a paper plate or coffee filter. Give them a full week to dry, possibly 2 if your climate is humid. Store in a paper envelope in a cool, dry location. The fermentation step is important here for 2 reasons. First, it removes the gel coating that inhibits germination. Second, research has shown that fermentation actually kills some seed-borne diseases that can pass from one generation to the next, so don't skip it. And remember, 5 to 7 year shelf life. One good save this summer could genuinely be your last cucumber seed purchase for years. Number 4, and I love this one because it's almost embarrassingly simple, beans. Green beans, pole beans, bush beans, runner beans. The same method works for all of them, and it requires almost no special knowledge or equipment. Here's why beans are the friendliest seed to save for beginners. Beans are what's called a self-pollinating crop. The flower actually pollinates itself before it even opens fully. By the time a bee could even get to the flower, pollination has already happened inside. This means cross-contamination between different bean varieties is almost never a problem. You can grow multiple types side by side and save seeds from all of them without worrying about crossing. This is completely different from tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and squash, all of which can cross-pollinate and require a little more care. Beans are the exception. Grow them anywhere, save seeds from any of them, no isolation needed. So here's the process, and honestly, you probably already know how to do this without realizing it. At the end of the season, when you'd normally be pulling out your bean plants, instead leave some of the pods on the vine. Don't harvest them for eating, just leave them. Over the next few weeks, those pods will dry out completely on the vine. They'll turn brown and papery. If you shake them gently, you'll hear the beans rattling around inside like a maraca. That's exactly what you want. When the pods are fully brown and dry and rattling, you can harvest them. Shell them out onto a tray or baking sheet and spread the beans in a single layer. Let them continue drying indoors for another week or 2, even after they look fully dry. Bean seeds can hold surprising amounts of internal moisture that isn't visible from the outside. Here's a simple test. Take one bean and try to press a fingernail into it. If it dents, it needs more drying time. If it's rock hard, it's ready to store. Store in a glass jar, a paper bag, or a paper envelope somewhere cool, dark, and dry. If you're using a sealed glass jar, you can toss in a small silica gel packet to absorb any remaining moisture. Bean seeds stored properly last 3 to 5 years. Some gardeners have had good germination rates from bean seeds stored for even longer under ideal conditions. Now let me give you a cost perspective on this. A pound of good heirloom pole bean seeds, something like Kentucky Wonder or Blue Lake, can cost $8 to $12 at the garden center. And a pound sounds like a lot, but if you're planting a serious row of pole beans, it goes quickly. One season of saving seeds from your strongest plants, and you'll have far more than a pound worth of seeds to start next spring. Plus, there's something genuinely satisfying about this particular seed save. Beans are big, easy to handle, easy to shell, easy to dry. It's a great project to do with kids or grandkids. And every single bean in that jar next spring came from your garden. Number 5, basil. And I'll be upfront with you. Basil seeds are inexpensive. A packet usually costs $2 or $3. So why is it on this list? Because once you see how easy this is, and how many seeds one basil plant produces when you let it go to seed, you'll realize you never need to buy basil seeds again. It takes almost zero effort, and at the end of the season, you'll have hundreds of seeds to spare, enough to share with friends, fill little paper packets as gifts, or just keep as a backup for years. Here's a bit of background first. Most gardeners treat basil as a leaf crop and work hard to prevent it from flowering, and that makes perfect sense while you're harvesting. Once basil flowers, the flavor of the leaves changes and the plant stops producing as vigorously. So pinching off flower stalks is absolutely the right strategy for cooking. But here's what I want you to do. At the end of the season, late summer or early fall when you know the growing season is winding down, choose 1 or 2 of your healthiest basil plants and simply stop pinching them. Let them do what they naturally want to do. Let them flower. Let them go to seed. Within a few weeks, you'll see the flowers develop into small tube-shaped seed pods along each stem. These are technically called calyxes. They start green and gradually dry out and turn brown. Once they're fully brown and papery, and this is important, give them another week or so, even after they look ready. You want them completely, thoroughly dry. When they're ready, here's all you do. Hold a paper bag open under a stem and run your fingers along it, stripping the dried pods off, or simply shake the whole stem gently into the bag. The tiny black seeds will fall right out. They're small, about the size of a sesame seed, but they come out easily and you'll be surprised how many there are. One mature basil plant that's been allowed to fully go to seed can give you 500 to 1,000 seeds. That's not an exaggeration. Sweet basil is extraordinarily prolific. You will have far more seeds than you can possibly plant next spring. Once you've collected them, spread them on a white piece of paper to dry for a few more days. It helps to check for any remaining moisture and lets you spot any debris. Then store in a paper envelope or small glass jar somewhere cool and dark. One thing to be aware of: sweet basil will cross-pollinate with other basil varieties growing nearby. If you're growing both sweet basil and purple basil or Thai basil, they can hybridize. For most home cooks, this doesn't matter much. You'll still get basil. But if you're attached to a specific variety, grow only one type for seed saving or separate different varieties by at least 150 feet if you can. Basil seeds stored properly stay viable for 5 years or more. Given how easy this save is, there's really no reason not to do it. Number 6, squash and zucchini. And I deliberately saved this one for last because it comes with the most important warning of the entire video. If you only remember one caution from everything I've told you today, make it this one. First, the good news. Squash and zucchini seeds are among the easiest to save of any vegetable. The process itself is completely straightforward. You let one fruit mature fully on the vine, and I'll explain exactly what fully mature means in a moment. Then you scoop out the seeds, rinse them clean in a colander, spread them to dry for about a week, and store them. That's it. The seeds are large, easy to handle, dry quickly, and store well for 4 to 6 years. Here's the key. The fruit needs to be far more mature than you'd normally harvest for eating. A zucchini you'd eat for dinner is harvested young, maybe 6 to 8 inches long, tender, thin-skinned. But a zucchini left on the vine for seed saving will grow enormous. We're talking 1.5 feet long, thick-skinned, almost woody. Leave it until the skin is hard and you can barely press a fingernail into it. That's when the seeds inside have reached full maturity. Same principle for winter squash and pumpkins, which by nature are harvested more mature anyway, so this is less of an adjustment. Now, the warning. Squash cross-pollinate aggressively and easily, carried by bees. And the problem is that the squash family is enormous, and the species boundaries matter a great deal for seed saving. Here's what you need to understand. Cucurbita pepo, which includes zucchini, yellow summer squash, acorn squash, delicata squash, and many pumpkins, will all cross-pollinate with each other freely. If you grow zucchini and yellow crookneck squash in the same garden, they will almost certainly cross, and the seeds you save may grow into something entirely unexpected next year. Cucurbita maxima, which includes butternut squash, Hubbard squash, and some large pumpkins, is a different species and generally won't cross with pepo varieties. So the simplest rule is this: grow only one variety within each species. If you're growing zucchini, don't also grow yellow summer squash or acorn squash in the same garden if you want to save pure seeds. If you love multiple varieties and don't want to give any up, the solution is hand pollination. In the early morning, before bees become active, find a male flower, the ones on a thin straight stem, and a female flower, the ones with a tiny fruit forming at the base. Using a small paintbrush or even a cotton swab, transfer pollen from the male flower to the center of the female flower. Then immediately cover the female flower with a small rubber band closed bag or a piece of row cover secured with a rubber band. Leave it covered for 24 hours to prevent bees from bringing in outside pollen. It sounds like a lot of work, but it takes about 2 minutes once you've done it once, and you only need to do it for 1 or 2 fruits per plant. The rest of the plant you can leave for normal bee pollination and eating. Those hand-pollinated fruits will give you pure, true-to-variety seeds. Everything else on the plant, eat it, enjoy it, give it to your neighbors. Before we get to the money math, I want to make sure this hybrid question is completely clear, because it's the single thing most likely to cause confusion or disappointment if you get it wrong. A hybrid seed, and you'll see this on packets as F1 or F1 hybrid, is created by plant breeders who deliberately cross 2 carefully selected parent varieties to produce offspring with specific desirable traits: better disease resistance, higher yields, more uniform fruit size and shape, earlier maturity. These are real benefits, and hybrid seeds genuinely perform well in the garden. But here's the catch. Those desirable traits exist in the first generation, the F1 generation, the plants you grow from those seeds. When you save seeds from an F1 hybrid plant and grow them the following year, you're now in the F2 generation. And in the F2 generation, the genetic traits separate unpredictably. Some plants might be great, some might be underwhelming, some might be completely different from what you expected. You simply have no way of knowing. This isn't a flaw, it's just how genetics works. Plant breeders actually rely on this. It's why you have to buy new hybrid seeds every single year. Open-pollinated and heirloom varieties work completely differently. These are plants that have been selected and grown over many generations specifically for their ability to reproduce true to type. Save seeds from an open-pollinated tomato, and next year's plants will look and taste just like this year's. That's the entire point. Genetic stability across generations. So before you save any seed, check the packet. Look for the words open-pollinated, heirloom, or OP. If the packet says F1, you can still grow it. It'll perform beautifully in your garden, but don't save the seeds. Some excellent sources for open-pollinated and heirloom seeds include Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, Seed Savers Exchange, and Johnny's Selected Seeds. I'll link all of them in the description below. Let me put some real numbers to everything we've covered. If you buy seeds for all 6 of these crops every year, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, beans, basil, and squash, you're probably spending somewhere between $25 and $40 annually. Maybe more if you're buying premium heirloom varieties. That doesn't sound dramatic. But over 10 years, that's $250 to $400. For seeds you could have saved yourself in an afternoon. And here's the part that really adds up. Many of these seeds last 5 or 6 years in proper storage. So one good seed saving season doesn't just cover next year. It covers 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, and 2030. That's 5 years from a single afternoon of work this summer. So there you have it. 6 seeds you should stop buying starting this summer. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, beans, basil, and squash. Pick just one of these this season. Try it. Save a small envelope of seeds and label it with the variety and the year. By next spring, I promise you'll be glad you did, and you'll probably want to save all of them. If this video was helpful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more gardeners who could use this information. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video. Happy growing.